Yeah, sorry about that, guys. How y'all doing? Good to see you guys in the building. I already got 12 people in the building. Good to see you guys. Go down and like the video. Today is another special tech talk. I have Techno Chatter. He's a YouTuber and he's also in the tech field, doing cybersecurity. So I'm excited to have him in the building. You know what I'm saying? So we can just basically talk tech. But how you doing, Henry? Is it okay if I call you by your real name? You good? Oh, Henri. I'm sorry. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Good to meet you, man. You know, this is my first time actually talking to you. I've watched some of your videos on your channel, and you have a lot of knowledge that you be putting out there, and a lot of information you be putting out there for people. So I was happy to try to reach out. Well, I was happy you responded, you know, when I reached out to you to try to get you on the channel so we could talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But hope your day going good? Good to go? Cool. So let me shout out a couple people in the chat. Shout out to AB Media 83. Good to see you, man. Sir Obadiah. Good to see you. Gear Z Net always in the building. Good to see you. And Gabe A. Salute. Thanks for the super chat. Definitely appreciate it. And they saying they can't hear you. Hold on. Let me see. Can't hear him. Let me see. Wonder what's going on. Let me see. Desktop. Hold on. Let me try to see what's going on. It looks like it might be on my end. So hold on 1 second. Oh crap! Here we go. Let's see. System sound output devices. Scarlet, that's right. Say something now. Oh crap. Oh man. Hey, let me know if you guys can hold on, man. This is trash, man. I did something wrong. Let's see. Okay. Hold on, say something now. Nah. Let me see. Default. Say something? Nah. Yeah. So that's why I say I think it's on my end because I'm testing. Say something again. Nah, crap. What's going on? Desktop audio. Let's see, filter properties. Default. Mm-hmm. Let me see. I think monitor on. I'm be right back, guys. Is it the stream gonna stay alive? But I'm gonna stop it on. Say something right fast. This is what happens when you. Cause see, I updated my computer a little while ago too. Um, what the hell? Say something again, right fast. Scroll it. Okay, testing, testing. See OBS. Mic. Scroll it.
Output be whatever Google Meets audio is.
I think it's good. I fix it. I think I fixed it. Hold on one
Okay.
second. Yeah, I fixed it. All right. Let me know if you guys can hear us. I apologize for that. Our picture's gonna come up in a second. Let me know if y'all can see us. Sorry about that. All right, all right, all right. So I'm getting some feedback. Everybody's saying they can hear you now.
All right,
Uh,
bet.
yeah,
That's a
sorry
bet.
about that, man. Technical difficulties, man. It's always popping up, but hey, I'm happy to have you here, man. I'm glad we was able to get through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The tech guy is having problems, or me, really. But first thing I like to do is go down and allow you to introduce yourself and just give a little bit about your background.
All right. What's going on, everybody? My name is Henri, aka HD, aka Techno Chatter, and many other names. You follow me on my other social media handles. Pretty much about me, I have around 8 or 9 years of like IT experience, with the last 5 years being a cybersecurity experience. I've been a lead threat analyst for the last 3 years now. And last year, I decided to start my own career coaching business to help people who are trying to break into that entry level spot of information security, because it's truly hard with all the gatekeeping going on, and it's super hard when you don't have the proper direction or knowing the way to get in, and you'll end up like how I was. But that's pretty much the gist of my background, and we'll probably get into more of that through the interview.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's super cool, man. And if you guys didn't know, he has his own YouTube channel as well as business, where he helps people get into the field. And he also works in the field as well. He does consult. You do consulting, right? Right, correct? Or is that wrong? I'm s-
Well, I do the consulting for people's, I guess you say, for careers, even though I
Mhm.
have some other things in the work that I mean, possibly may be consulting one day. So you're
Okay.
not wrong.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, so yeah, shout out to everybody. Good to see you, Professor Black Ops. He says all good. Put that mama's cooking on it.
You've been watching that Kwame Brown.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, the first thing or the next thing, so how did you get into the IT field, or what brought you into the field?
Short and sweet. I went into college, wanted to be an architect. The first quarter at LA Tech, I did not like how architecture was. I seen all the guys there. Pretty much the architecture building was called Hell Hall. So they were there almost like 24/7.
Wow.
And all of them are way more talented than me when it comes to drawing and drafting and all this crap. I wasn't. I thought I was gonna be good at it because I did a wood shop and welding class. And I talked to my advisor, went to the College of Business, and I looked at salaries and projections of like that career path. And this was 2010. Yeah, so this is 2010. I was like, yeah, I want to do that because I had already been decent enough with electronics, whether it been playing video games, setting up my computer at the house for my mom or my grandma, or doing other things. So I always been decent at it. So I was like, let's take a stab at it, especially something that is going to be used in the years to come. And I always wanted to be able to. I used to watch like movies and stuff like that, and I like the people who like had the home office could work from home. So I was like, I want to
Yeah.
be in a field where I can work from home, and you know, 11 years later, that's possible.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Especially and that the whole pandemic thing, kind of set a lot of positions in motion to be work from home. You know what I'm saying? It's getting tough for organizations to kind of bring people back. They want to continue working from home. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's true, man. It's because um I um I always had that mindset of what I wanted to work from home because um I don't really like people too much as far as like working around a bunch of people or the whole cubicle space thing, like in Office Space or one of them TV
hmm
shows or some or movies. I didn't like that. I don't like that whole idea of and working in a cubicle, going to lunch with people and all that stuff. I just never had that desire to actually be around people like that or whatever, to that point. So the whole work from home thing, is super dope. And I've been working from home, since this whole pandemic started. So yeah,
yeah,
it's those
that's been me too.
opportunities are out there. Yeah, yeah. So so let's go on and roll into the next question I typically ask, which is if someone was trying to get into the IT field or cybersecurity, where do you think they should start?
Honestly, they should start. Is pretty much this is what I tell my clients. We go by reverse engineering your path. So before I mention anything about, oh, you should go get this cert, this or that, I say, hey, let's go look at some roles and let's see which ones that stick out with you. And
Mm-hmm.
then once we find them, we start looking for commonalities in different roles, far as certain skill sets you need, going into certifications, things of that nature. We kind of do it backwards because a lot of times people say, oh, go get your Sec Plus and then you're gonna get a security job. And it doesn't really work like that because all you did was study for a test and pass it, which is good because you passed the test, but doesn't really translate over to you possibly getting a job super quick.
Mm-hmm.
What does translate is you knowing exactly what you want to do. You have the skill set, you have the cert, you go network, you got the resume. That gives you a way better chance of getting a job than just getting the cert. And I just always tell people something that's like, you put in your GPS, you want to go somewhere, you need to know where you want to go first and then hit enter so you can drive on your course. If you don't know that, you won't get there.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely agree with that. Like, if you, based on what you said, like if you research whatever positions you're trying to go after, that'll give you a lot of information, allow you to map out, the direction you need to go. But nah, great information, great information. Now let me ask you this. Um, now what is now when working in the IT field, because I've been in the IT field for years, the one of the hardest parts for me has been the whole interview process. Now, as well as resumes and all that stuff, just keeping up with that type of stuff. It's almost like a different skill set, you know. So, what are your thoughts on resumes, interviews, or do you do anything to help people with that as well?
Funny. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. From the end of last year to the beginning of this year, I was getting back into the interview game, and I made a tweet about it saying, interviewing kind of like working out. Like you kind of not real good the first 2 weeks, but as you keep on working out, your body get acclimated to the weights and the running and everything else you're doing. The same thing with interviewing. It's a skill you got to work at. And I
Mm-hmm.
think everybody should probably try to interview every couple of months. Not even you just looking for a new job, but it just kind of helps you stay current, helps you figure out what these new employers are looking for, what new technologies are that you need to look into, and helps you not be nervous. A lot of people are very smart, and sometimes they get into the interview and they're nervous because they don't want to mess up. Maybe they don't know what questions they're going to be asked, and they don't realize that they're also interviewing that person too. So what I tend to do is, depending on what type of position they're interviewing for, we'll draft up some questions, especially some things that I've even been asked in interviews, and I'll give them to them. Some things that I've learned in the past that I, ask people to ask the interviewer, like something simple as, how's your skill set stack up against the other applicants? Or you can say, how will my success be measured? It's kind of some self-awareness things that let the people know that you're pretty much aware of like kind of how all these things go and you want to progress and other things.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, I guess everything ties hand in hand because also if we bring up the interview process and it made me think about resumes, I always advise people, for me, when it comes to me resumes, I don't put anything on there that you can't talk about. I'll let you put it on there yourself. But as for me, I don't do it because I've had times where like I worked with different applications. So I used to just put every application I could log into on my resume. And and one time in the interview, they just started asking me about these things and I got cooked. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, guys, that's what's called overselling yourself. So I've said in my videos before, say, hey, I've oversold myself before and it's backfired on me. Don't do that.
Yo.
And so that's one of the things that I advise against as well. It's like, it's cool if you don't got but 5 softwares on there, but like the back of your hand, do that. They like honesty.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that are outside looking in think that, some of these recruiters and managers care about, I have to know all these tools and this and that. But in the end of the day, the most important thing people got to remember is the person,
Yeah.
because you have to interact with different people in the environment and organization. That person is more important than really what's on that resume. And yeah, I got stories for days, but that person is more important. So if you're watching right now and you're struggling with interviewing, like work on selling yourself, really work on selling yourself because that's going to help you the most over knowing how to, use every tool, in the tool belt. You only can use one at a time anyway. So
Yeah.
just work
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, man, because I always try to tell people that those soft skills are just important as the technical skills that you have. So definitely agree with what you're saying. Now let me ask you this. Now, what do you think is the importance of having a network? because I talk about LinkedIn all the time.
Very important.
Yeah.
Very important. That's one of the things I wish I would have known earlier on in my career,
Mm-hmm.
to have to build my professional network better. Like I had a LinkedIn, they made us make one in college, but I didn't utilize it like I do now. I tell all of my clients like you need to have probably like 500 plus connections, especially in the field you're trying to go into, because these are potentially your hiring managers, recruiters, C-level execs are looking through these posts and seeing what you say, and it boils down to, and not to mention, shout out to Dayspring. Me and Dayspring in the network. So anytime if I hear something at a position, especially a team I'm directly working on, I'm able to say, I know this guy, I know his work ethic, I know he this and that. Look, we need him here. And that's important because the other, I'm gonna just say the other, I don't want to just say one other way, but they've been doing it for years. I remember when I was a knock analyst, uh, we had a guy come in, I forgot what position they brought him in. He was a cool guy, but he was hired because the manager went to church with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never seen that from us, because most of the time I had only seen most of us on help desk. And that's one of my tweets that got big too, because to me, I felt that was like a real tweet. Like they'll hire us for help desk for days, but all the other roles only be a handful of us. They won't
Mm-hmm.
let it be all of us.
No, that's true, man. Like I say this all the time that excuse me, that every position that I've been in, up until my most current, I've been like the only, black person in the room. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
In these boardrooms, talking to these execs and building applications and all that stuff. I've been like the only, you know, person that looked like me in the room. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's important. It's very important to have that network, though. You know what I'm saying? I definitely agree with you there. That's why, and then also like the just every time you get a position is good to have some type of validation for that. Like with the people giving you review. What do they call it on tech?
Recommendations.
Yeah, the
Recommendations on
recommendations.
LinkedIn. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, definitely.
exactly. So that helps you out a lot. Now, let me go into this. Like, if someone was trying to get into mentoring, what do you think about them getting a mentor? Because I've heard this. I haven't went through it. I haven't had a mentor, but I know people that have had it and been successful. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, funny. It's funny. You're hitting like on everything I talk about on my Twitter when I am really on it. I mentioned, I think it was might have been yesterday. I tweeted, hey, if you're looking for a mentor, make sure you have something you can bring them. I like to bring Day back to it. Day and I connected on LinkedIn, and I saw instantly, he was ready to work.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that means a lot, because I've tried to help people in the past, and they're not really serious. But if I get a person that's serious, I'm gonna always do my best to help you or do that. So it's like even simple things, and I'm not gonna share explicit,
Mm-hmm.
information about like what he has going. But when it came as far as him, his first interview to get an internship, he reached out to me. I gave some tips. He ended up getting an internship. When it came to, I think, his job he has now, and they offered him, we talked about it, and I was like, telling them different things. Those things are important, because if you don't have that, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling them about how I don't know how old you are, but I know my parents, they born in pretty much like '60s,
Yeah, mine too.
and their generation is all about, be secretive, don't tell people how much you make, and this and
Mm-hmm.
that. And what that led to is a lot of them being underpaid, and everybody else getting paid more than them because they don't want to tell nobody what they get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Me, with the people, that's in my field, I'm transparent, say, hey, yeah, I'm getting this or whatever, or hey, nah, they're paying you too low. Either tell them do this or go somewhere else, because that's important, because
Yeah.
that's how you get your next big bag by like whatever you got the last time. You can project. He's like, well, shoot, I've been getting this. The role says I need to do this and this. I think it's worth X amount, and then that's how
Mm-hmm.
you do. That's how you don't undercut yourself. So
Yeah.
I think mentoring is very important. I will say it can be taxing, to have a mentor thing. I know right now, me, I mean, I have people that I mentored, in other people they just do use like my subscription service. I mean, they make it consider that a mentorship, and so it's half and half. I think you can also can pay for mentoring or be free, either or. I think that's still the best route, especially if you're trying to learn from somebody who's in the industry you want to get into.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And if you guys didn't know, he's talking about Day Cyberwise. I interviewed him a while back. That's who he's talking about, and he's a SOC analyst at the moment or intern.
Yeah, a stock
Yeah,
analyst. And
yeah,
also, I forgot to throw in what amazed me about him. I think at the time Dave was like 19,
yeah, yeah. I know.
and so that's what amazed me. I was like, man, I have younger cousins that weren't even trying to really work like this. When I was talking to them, I was like, I'm gonna help this dude out any way I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what we should be doing. You know what I'm saying? If give back, you know what I'm saying. If you're working in this field, do your best to try to help other people that are coming up behind you. You know what I'm saying, and guide them in the right direction. Even though this new generation, they kind of own it. You know what I'm saying, as far
Yeah,
as this technology goes. You know, because they've been using technology since very young. You know what I'm saying. Like I said, like you said, we probably about the same age or whatever. I remember when the cell phones were like a tablet, like the size of a tablet. Um,
yeah, man. I remember when I said, "Hey, call me back at the 7."
yeah,
My minute's not free right now, man.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Not everybody got unlimited for real. Um, Now, one other thing, or oh, next thing, how do you keep your technology skills current? And what I mean by that, like do you do like a lot of training? Is it books you want to recommend? I'm sorry if I'm over speaking too much, but go ahead.
No, no, no. You good. You good. You good.
So,
It's one of the things. Like I said, like I brought up the interviewing thing. Like when I started interviewing, I started seeing exactly what they're looking for. Like, uh, prime example of anybody is in cyberspace right now, they should probably know that incident response is like in the rage right now. Like every company is probably trying to build up the incident response program because you see everybody getting breached, ransomware, and
mm-hmm,
everything. So, having some of those skills that come with incident response is one of the things that will help you keep your skill set current. I pay attention to vendors, things like I'm a fan of like CrowdStrike. Splunk is like my favorite tool, especially. I mean, it's a sim tool, but you also it has ES and then it has like the other spots for like data analytics. Any organization that uses it is like making a lot of money because it's just so specific with what you can do with manipulating that data. Um, so pretty much the vendor things. I'm on Twitter a lot, LinkedIn a lot, just seeing what people are bringing up, this new technology, anything stuff with AI, machine learning. Big one, guys, right now is it comes to automation.
mm-hmm,
You might see the term SOAR come out. I think it stands for like security, organized, automated response. I probably butchered it. I might have to go find it and put it in the chat. But SOAR is big because they are looking into automate a lot of things, especially like a lot of little tedious tasks, especially when it comes from a SOC standpoint. There's so many alerts, so much data being pushed in that automation is helping us, not hit alert fatigue. So that's one of those things that I do. Also, what is it called? I had a brain fart. The websites I got a Slack space and I have like all these like bleeping computer and Krebs on security and all these different type of websites. I use their RSS feeds into to my Slack channel and just stay current with events and just looking at things and looking, what happens. So it's kind of like some of the ways that I stay current. Of course, I do from time to time study for certs, but that's only to enhance my job. It's not for me to cert chase because that's what I'm more so about. I don't really tell people to get certs. I've had a cert and sat on it for years, and it's no point of doing that. I only do it if it's going to enhance what you do at work or you need it directly to get the next position you want to get.
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I agree. Now, something you said a little earlier, and it kind of takes me back to the whole networking piece that we were just talking about. You basically, hold on, I didn't, I lost it. I can't remember what you said, man, but it made me think about networking. Um, oh, um, just that's part of the networking process. And it most people don't think of it that way because it's just social media. But being on Twitter and just following these different people in these different areas, you get
Yeah,
a lot of information on what's coming out, like new technologies that people are using. So I 100% agree with you, man, because that's how I find out about certain things that I do videos on that I want to try to introduce people to. Like, for instance, I was talking about the Go language a while back on a video, and that's becoming pretty good. It's that Google um, programming language that they have. It's called
mm,
Go. Yeah, and then also or I found a lot of that stuff off of Twitter, and people just posting articles on different things when it comes to new technologies. What was that? Or is related to uh, what is it? Not business intelligence, but just basically working with data. It's one of those programming languages that work with it's like automation, big data, whatever they call it. I
mm-hmm.
can't remember.
Okay, yeah,
But yeah, the R programming languages is that's statistical analysis when it comes to just big data and data automation, like automation with that machine learning. That's
gotcha.
what I was
Yeah, yeah.
thinking about. Yeah. So all those tools, I kind of found out about and just started doing interviews or started doing videos on it just to, I don't know, just try to let people know that this technology is constantly changing. Something new is coming out every single day. You know what I'm saying? People using things every single day. So uh, it's definitely good to follow people that are in these industries so you can understand what you need to learn next. Now, I saw
Definitely.
in a video um in one of your videos on your channel, you basically said you failed the CEH.
Mm-hmm.
Now, now what happened with that? And then, well, not
No, you good. You
yeah, like
good.
what happened with that? And then what did you do to accomplish it? I'm not sure if I didn't see the rest of it where you were saying, did you pass it eventually?
So yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
So at the time, I studied for. I think I just threw the book away. Actually, it was an older book. I forgot what
Okay.
version it was. But what ended up happening is, and this is a rookie mistake. I was studying for an older version, and they changed to a new version.
Okay.
So when they change into the new version, sometimes they throw a lot of questions in there that weren't in anybody's study guides because they're trying to see what mix works right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wasn't the only person that had that complaint. A lot of people, I think I one read some dude say, it seemed like I studied for this and I took a plumbing exam. Like none of the stuff that I studied was on there. It'd be
Mm-hmm.
different if I just, failed by a little bit. But I was like, man, what? So once I failed, I really just left it alone because I am. I mean, it's a running joke in InfoSec community. It's like it's a little meme where it talks about the CH. It's like
Mm-hmm.
somebody's at the Olympics and the CH is on the bottom of the totem pole, and the
Yeah.
dude has a gold medal and he's biting it like excited. But honestly, I didn't try to take it after that because I realized it was like number one, when I was going through all this information, it wasn't that hard anyway. It just was talking about kind of regular stuff and nmap scans. Like this test wouldn't really make me a hacker. I pretty much got bad advice from I mean, I guess I still consider them a mentor, but they were in DOD. They weren't in InfoSec. But
Mm-hmm.
in DOD and all those jobs, like they require you, get your Sec Plus, get CH and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
just
that
for people to have them.
85/70, that 85
Hmm.
70 yeah, rule that they
Yeah, so it
have.
was one of those things. That's what he said. Yeah, you should get CEH. And so I did it because I didn't have no direction. At that time, still was in the help desk. I was just trying to, get out. I mean, I did used to use it as a selling point sometimes when I was interviewing, say, I'm currently studying for CEH. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, I didn't go back and take it. Years later, I ended up doing my CISA Plus from CompTIA, which is a way better blue team cert, and it's at the same level as CEH, and it's cheaper than CEH, and it's a better cert, and it directly correlated with me working in a SOC, and it helped me out.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, if guys want to not pass, and I didn't pass it. If you do have a CH, salute. If you're taking the CH thinking it's going to help you get a pen testing job, it probably won't, just because it's not a practical test.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind and just kind of get with some real actual pen testers. I think his name is DJX Alpha. I
Okay,
think
yeah,
that's his
yeah, yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah. DJ D. Um, man, I'm bad with remember names.
Yeah.
I'm finna say not the one, but you talking about? I know DJX.
Yeah, DJ. Yeah, I follow him on Instagram and I follow him
Twitter.
on YouTube
Oh,
and I
okay.
think Twitter too.
Yeah,
I don't have his YouTube channel. I probably could put it in this video later. But
Dev,
him, yeah,
Devin.
he actually had this a live stream one time with like two or three other guys that like
Mm-hmm.
were I think like in a pen testing space too now. We're talking about the different certifications and their thoughts on them. So that's a real good I forgot the word resource. I guess you guys could reach out to because he also responds on Twitter. I saw him giving some help
Yeah,
to a young guy on Twitter. He was looking into doing pen tests and stuff. So check him out.
yeah. I actually did an interview on him a while, but I mean, on his channel a while back. Great guy.
Yeah,
Devin is
I
a
think it
great
was either
guy.
him. He was either him or the one when
The
I
one.
first saw your channel. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, dope. This is dope. I was like, because I honestly, when I started, I don't know if you were ever going to ask me this, but honestly, when I started this channel, I didn't see a lot of us making, the type of content, that we're
Mm-hmm.
making. But it might have just been because I wasn't, in the algorithm yet, seeing everybody.
Yeah.
And now that I'm seeing, like, it's just dope to just see different people all bring their unique perspective and helping out in their own way, in the community because we need it.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Because I But anyway, I wanted to say, I wanted to say I saw this comment in the chat. Gabe A say I hated the CEH exam. It's whack. So it's people out there agree with you,
Yeah, man, it's nothing
and
but multiple choice.
yeah, and it's also the criteria in order to actually take it. Don't you have to have like 2 years experience, and then isn't it like expensive? I can't remember how much.
It was at that time. It might be more, but at that time it was like $500.
Yeah, yeah.
And you had to pay, I think, 100 just to apply to take it. Like it was a
Mm-hmm.
ripoff too. It was like, man, whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's it's a certification. You know what I'm saying, and it's recognized in the industry, but somewhat. You know what I'm saying, but I think more of those CompTIA certs are better, and then the was it the Cisco certifications as well as what's the other one?
You got Cisco, you got the all the I don't know if that stands for like all those like
Yeah, the
GSEC type
SANS.
of
Yeah.
certs. E-learn security is coming up too with all their certs as well. They're practical too, so that's what makes them
Mm-hmm.
very good.
Yeah.
Where you could talk about that in depth in the interview. They're a little bit well, if you get their training material, then they give you like half off on the voucher. So
Okay.
it's not too bad. So it's a pro and a con, but you get access to so much different, material
Mm-hmm.
doing it that way. So I would say possibly look into that. But
Cool.
yeah, definitely. That's how I mean EC Council. Yeah, I mean the classes now. I heard they got some classes that are okay, but when it comes to their certifications, nah, it's not worth the money.
Mm-hmm. Now, um, let me get into, I guess, the more controversial question that I typically ask every single time: degrees, certifications, or both? What are your
Um,
thoughts?
I'm trying to see did I put that in one of my last blogs, but I guess it depends on I'm all for getting to your goal in the cheapest way possible.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have to get a degree to get you a cybersecurity role, by all means, do it that way. I'm not just because I got a bachelor's and a master's. I'm not going to tell somebody you have to do that to be successful.
Yeah.
I went this route because, for one, that's all they push coming out of high school was going to school, and then I just ended up getting my master's because I was bored at my knock position. So that's how that happened. Yes, I mean I guess it's helped me in my career, but I wouldn't tell you to do that. But with the certs can work, but it just has to be other stuff thrown into it because now we have three things. So now we have certifications, degrees, or boot camps. So boot camps are
Yeah.
now that third thing. And I am a good proponent of taking a boot camp. Just vet the boot camp and compare prices and what's the reviews on it. Shout out to Mary. I don't know if you guys on here know Mary, but Mary runs like a lot of different boot camps like ServiceNow, admins, and business analysts, and I hope she has a whole bunch that she's been helping like a lot of people transition and get into tech, because I think her boot camps come with like career coaches and resume writers and stuff like that. So kind of
Yeah,
look for
put a
something that's
link
gonna
in
give
the
you a
chat.
good deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm let me see if I can go find it now on her page. But yeah, I'm for like whatever, the best way. Like some people try to tell, and I think what's happened is people feel like maybe like a little elitist when you have maybe a degree or something.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's just a piece of paper.
Yeah.
I'm not pressed on that, man. I come from humble beginnings. I'm not like that. Like it is what it is. It's just
Yeah.
like me telling my daughter, trying to hold her down. Oh, you got to go to school. No, if she can get more successful with me in the least amount of time, go for it.
Mm-hmm. No, I
Okay,
agree,
I just
man.
put it in
Cause
the chat. mytechbestfriend.com.
cool. Yeah, and I made your mind so you could post it, so you should be good. Yeah. Okay.
I
Cool.
bet.
But yeah, I 100% agree with you, man. I've seen guys get in the field and really excel with no degree, just strictly certifications, as well as some that have went the school route. You know what I'm saying, and then
Yeah,
eventually had to get those certifications anyway, to make themselves more marketable. But that helps as well. You know what I'm saying, but
yeah,
so I mean, I agree with you too, because I mean, I only use my degrees as kind of like a talking point. It's a piece of
yeah.
paper.
I think
You know what I'm saying? The
yeah, I
certs
think
is more
degrees
important.
pretty much only help when you're trying to get into like management, upper level management, where
Mm-hmm.
I have that master's background that shows that I'm good with working with people and I've did certain projects, and I have soft skills, and that's probably what that's for. If you want to do that, and being a lead is kind of like being a manager, but it ain't. And I don't have the patience to be a manager yet. So
Mm-hmm. I
yeah,
got you.
yeah,
Yeah, that's. I mean, I agree with you because I like to play the. I don't know. I like to be the team player. You know what I'm saying? And um, yeah, and play those roles because you can get just as much money as, in my opinion, as being a manager in some cases. You know what I'm saying? In certain areas of IT, you can make just as much money being a developer or
yeah.
an administrator as some of the managers. Now, unless you trying to compete with like director of IT, if you're trying to get to that level, then yeah, you'll probably hit a certain amount of money because they deal with the budgeting and all that stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
so but
Just a lot of responsibilities.
yeah, but so yeah, great information. But what certs do you have, and which ones do you recommend?
So I'm gonna go like certs I've had and have. So my
Mm-hmm.
first ever cert was Security Plus.
Okay.
I have the CYSA Plus.
Oh, the
I
CISA,
have
CISA,
hmm
whatever they call it. Yeah.
see yeah, yeah. It used to be CSA, but then I think they changed it to add the Y in there. For I guess stand for like cybersecurity analyst.
Yeah.
I have my AWS Cloud Practitioner, and I got this cert from work from CrowdStrike. It's a CCFA. I think it stands for like being like a CrowdStrike admin.
Okay.
Which also, guys, things like CrowdStrike and Tanium, Carbon Black, it's a couple other tools, but CrowdStrike for sure. It's become a major player in the space for endpoint protection. It's probably hard to get a cert for, but if you are able to get a certification for CrowdStrike and learn how to use it, that could be, something you could specialize in and get you with a job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But certs to recommend, I always tell my people like, I was like, it's funny. I got not got into it, but with a guy in a Facebook group who wasn't in infosec was telling somebody pretty much bad advice like I got when I in my early career. And I was saying, I think the girl was a sys admin. She wanted to get into cyber, and
Mm-hmm.
she already had Sec Plus. And he was telling her to do something else. I was like, no, she has Sec Plus. She has already enough experience. Now you just gotta figure out how to, work that out. She doesn't need. I forgot what cert he was saying she needed.
Yeah.
But I like. she doesn't need that. I think people don't understand. I've been talking to a lot of people now. They think because they are enrolled and necessarily say security in it, they don't have security experience. And I have to remind them, like, no, everybody's role has some cybersecurity in it. You
Yep.
just got to really think about it. And then when we put it together, it's like, oh yeah, I was doing cybersecurity. I was like, pretty sure as a sysadmin, you're doing a lot of security related, things. And then he brought up, yeah, I installed the patches, and I was like, yeah, vulnerability management,
Yep.
patch management. I was like, you're doing it. You're just not thinking about it that way. You're just looking at it as some part of your job. I was like, so that's the part, we just bring out when it comes to the interview. So it's like, okay, yeah, this guy gets it. And that's the thing. I'm not, man, these certs are getting expensive. I don't want people
Yeah.
going out here paying $500 and getting training material and getting no sleep just to get a cert and then say they still can't find a position. Nah, not my style.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. It was something you touched on. Um, Never mind. I'll just move on to the next thing.
Okay, if you think about it, just let me know.
Okay. Now, Linux. How is important? My channel is all about Linux. That's all I talk about. But
Yeah.
how important? Or are you seeing that?
I
As
think it
something.
is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important. I mean, the downfall about me is every time I get decent, like with basic Linux stuff, I forget a little bit of it because most of my environments are always heavily Windows.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I attempt to always have like my secondary systems. Like right now, this Mac, my virtual machine is like an Ubuntu machine. And funny, doing some of the labs that I had to do that I was doing for the incident response cert, I saw how weak my Linux skills was. Because you have to walk through like setting up Suricata with SSH and having to do it like Linux commands and like stuff not working for me. So I'm looking up like cat commands and how to list this and that, and I'm just messing up. But Linux is definitely a good skill to have because everywhere you go might not be Windows.
Yeah.
And some places, want you to know, Linux, or know like Mac OS. So I actually like Linux. I liked how it's straight to the point, and I am going to eventually get to the point where I like make a certain amount of time, maybe like a month, where I really like work on Linux like every day, and maybe do that for some months so I can just get better at it because it's definitely a good skill to have.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. And
Especially for engineers, I'll say yeah, for like especially people gonna be engineers and stuff like that. Look, some programming and Linux, you definitely need that.
Yep. Yep. Um, I agree, man, and it that kind of remind me of what I was gonna ask you earlier. It's important to get some or focus on specific. Man, I forgot exactly what I was gonna say. Never mind, bro.
Specializing
Yeah, yeah, like specializing. Yeah, you was I think you was saying earlier.
about that CrowdStrike and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, but don't worry about it, man. I can't remember exactly what I was going. It might come back to me again, bro. I got a bad memory, and man, I need to get
Oh, you
some
good?
vitamins.
Yeah, you probably focusing on like the next question you're gonna ask, and then trying
Yeah,
to ask another question.
yeah.
I tend like when I do mine, I tend to just kind of not have a lot and just listen. That way, I can probably try to type it in so I can think about asking it. It
Hmm.
kind of helps me out.
Yeah, yeah. I'm bad with these interviews, man. To be honest, I try to do the best I can, man. And just following things and then running multiple things at one time. You know what I'm saying? It just throws me off every now and then. But let me ask you this: programming languages. Um, any programming languages and do you recommend any?
I recommend probably Python. I
Python.
think you probably hear all security people probably say Python.
Yeah,
Python,
everybody say Python.
it's simple, and straight to the point. I got like a Udemy course now on it, but I've had to pass it in grad school.
Hmm.
So it's very important because you don't necessarily have to know how to code, but at least if you can understand it, the syntax, you should be fine.
Hmm.
Because it's similar to like for me, when I look at correlation rules when it comes to like a sim environment or something like that. Like it's not programming, but in a sense it is because you're programming something to run a certain rule. So I think once you introduce to any type of programming, it kind of lets you understand how to break something down, or hey, let me go look up what this term means, and you can understand it like that. But definitely, I'll probably say Python and maybe Java. There's probably some other stuff. I know like people that do like software engineering and things like that. They are using coding way more than I do. But I plan to also, like I said, that's why I got the Python course, because automation is big, and automating some stuff that I don't have to really do would be key as well.
Mm. Yeah, and I always recommend Python Institute anytime somebody, brings up Python as programming language to learn. Check out Python Institute. They and low code, no code, I believe. Um,
Okay.
yeah, just check that out. If you interested in learning these programming languages, and it's a lot of them out there that's coming out that people are starting to use. Like Rust is starting to become a thing
Hmm.
that people get into. So check that out as well.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's a book I used. If you have kids or anything like that, Python for Kids is like one of the easiest, simplest little
mhm.
books. They, I mean, it's recommended for adults to do it too, but it's just so simple. Anybody can, at least learn some basics of Python just from using that book.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I agree. I agree. And um, this is something that this is why I be forgetting stuff because I be having so much stuff to think about. But you should see that I changed up the screen. But I just wanted to go on and let everybody know if you didn't catch the beginning where my audio was all jacked up. But this is Techno Chatter. You know what I'm saying? This is his channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. He puts out a lot of great information to help people get into the cybersecurity field as well as mentorship. Career coaching, all that good stuff. So check him out, subscribe. He puts out information based on, his experience and based on working in the actual field. So just check him out, man. And then also his Twitter right here. So I'll put these links down in the description of the video. Just check them out.
Yeah, or they can do. I could type it in right here, and here it's a
Oh yeah.
takes on everything. My
Oh,
solo.to.
is it this link right here? The one that says click here? I seen that. I wasn't sure if this is what it is.
Which one?
Uh,
Yep, is that one. That
okay.
that link right there pretty much take you to like
Everything.
everything. Yeah, it
Solo
has
dot two. Yeah, yeah, I
uh-huh.
got you. Yep, I dropped
Okay.
that in the chat then right fast. So, you guys can check him out. Go to all his links right there.
Yeah. And I might make my podcast on Spotify, Apple
Okay.
Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
You use
Yes, I
Anchor?
mean it's right there as well. Yeah, I use Anchor to
Okay.
push all that out to them.
Okay. Yeah, I got an Anchor too. So each one of these tech talks I put up there when I remember.
Yeah,
I
I normally
always
schedule
forget.
them. I normally drop them on the same day. Like I'll pre-record it and tell everybody, oh, I got it dropping on Friday or whatever. So
Okay.
I'll be looking Friday.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, so but next thing, what I typically hop into is a little bit of maybe automation. Do you have any experience working with automation, and do you think it's going to impact jobs in the future? I always kind of ask that question.
Yes, and I think it's going to impact Josh. Yes and no. Currently, I use Phantom at work,
Mm-hmm.
and Phantom is just an automation tool that you can connect to Splunk, or it can connect to different SIMs. And what it can do,
Mm-hmm.
but granted, you have to have everything put into Phantom to do this, so it can get expensive. But theoretically, if you program it right, it can do some of the analyst things. Like if you want to say grab this IP, look at service now, research, run this search in Splunk to do, look at the trend analysis, and then throw all this right here. It can do that, but you got to program it to do like that. But yes, I do use automation at work. That's what I was
Mm-hmm.
talking about earlier when I brought up SOAR. That's one of the bigger things that's out in InfoSec right now, especially for if you're looking to be like a project manager in the cyberspace. SOAR is
Mm-hmm.
one to actually just look into a lot. Is that
Okay.
one? I think they got swim lane, and it may be some other tools. A lot of tools are trying to bring in automation. So learning how to code and you know will help. But at the end of the day, they still could program it to do the wrong automation. So
Yeah,
that's also the thing too. Is like
yeah,
it can work, but if the person that's doing it doesn't know what they're doing, yeah, they got to automate some stuff, but it didn't automate it the right way.
yeah. Or they didn't factor in certain aspects or of
Right.
whatever they're trying to do. It's especially the whole security piece. A lot of times when programmers are creating stuff, they don't think about the security portion until after the application is built or whatever, and then they have
Definitely.
to go in and redo the code, in order to accomplish certain things to keep the application secure. It's kind of like, I don't know, cart before the horse. Security should be kind of like in the
At
front.
the forefront.
Yeah,
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 definitely. Yeah.
and
You
throughout the
run into
whole
that a
build
lot.
process as well. So yeah.
You'll be surprised they'll do some on the network and then I reach out to them. Oh, they never reached out to us before. Well, we saw what you was doing. Just want to make
Hmm.
sure.
Yep, exactly. Now, one of the last things, let me see. Um, crap. I'm all over the place, man.
Good.
Cloud computing. How important is, cloud computing to you? Or do
Very
you think
important.
people, yeah, should get into it?
Very important. That's the reason why I got the cloud practitioner last year. 2 years ago in the environment, I heard of AWS, but I didn't know what I was looking at. I saw AWS alerts. I was like, man, what is this? What's a bucket? What is a bucket? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
so looking at all that kind of stuff really, encouraged me to go check out AWS. And also I'm about to become very familiar with Azure.
Okay.
Because they're both hand in hand. It's still in some market space away from AWS. I think it is the next wave because it gives companies the ability to scale way easier than they'd have to back in the day, like when they had to put most stuff on prem. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something guys can look into, especially specialized because everybody is throwing money out to people if you know cloud technology. Granted, they got the job descriptions wrong because they're trying to have you have X amount of experience and technology that just got here not too long ago. But yeah, it's a big thing. And I don't think a lot of us realize we technically been using cloud technology. We just didn't really know we were.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's been being used for a minute now. You know, and people been transition. It's they finna start transitioning a lot more up there, like you said. But you know what I'm saying. And so it is important to learn cloud technologies and get into it. But Splunk, um, that I need to, and I'm not asking you about it because you already kind of explained it, but I need to look into that, man. Splunk is so I post that link in the chat for anybody that's interested in it. I'm gonna start playing around with that as well. I've heard it, multiple times, but never really looked into it. Took the time to look into Splunk,
Yeah,
but and I have started seeing that in jobs, that are out there, Splunk
yeah.
experience and all that.
And if
So
you go to Splunk.com, their fundamentals one is free on their website.
yeah, yep,
So if anybody is want to at least get their hands on it, fundamentals one is free.
okay,
It's one of the simplest yet most powerful tools I probably ever use. Like I hate using other SIM products when it's not Splunk ES just because Splunk is just straight into the point. It's very handy when doing investigations. I don't have to do a lot of clicking. I can get everything I want to in one screen if I need to. Like it's dope. I went to SpunkConf in Vegas in 2019,
okay,
and that was nice. They had it at the Venetian, and it
okay.
was cool, man. Back when the
Yeah,
world was opened up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they plan on opening up pretty soon, man. And then next time you come out here, bro, just hit me up, man. Cause I live in Vegas.
Okay, word. That's a
Yeah,
bit, man.
I live in
I
Vegas.
actually need to come back because I went. It was a work trip, so I didn't have to pay for nothing but my drinks because food was
Yeah,
on company.
on the company.
But I mean, I went with the wrong people, and it was last minute. Had I
Mm-hmm.
really got the plan for it, I probably would have had way more fun. I was there 5 days.
Okay. Okay,
We were
cool.
supposed to actually stay in the Venetian. We ended up staying at Planet Hollywood, which was it was
Okay.
cool too.
Yeah, yeah. Planet Hollywood is cool. I like the little mall area. Me and my wife like to
Yeah,
walk through there or whatever. It's always a bunch of people in there. Well, especially yeah, I know it's gonna be starting getting packed again pretty soon because things are starting to open back up. But
yeah.
bro, I definitely appreciate you coming through, man. You done dropped a lot of gems. Um, and if you guys want to, please go ahead on and subscribe to Techno Chatter and go to his links, actually his link page. Um, just go and check that out. That'll take you to everything, you know, all Techno Chatter. You know what I'm saying? So, and how do you say the name? Tech to all? Tech to how you say it?
Oh, textual. It's
Textual.
textual.
Oh, I'm tripping, bro. I sound crazy.
You
Textual
probably
consultant.
because I probably had the first name says like maybe thought I was trying to do some a lot with the name, but nah, it's
Yeah.
simple, just textual consultant. I don't even know. I can't
Okay.
remember how I came up with the name, but
Okay. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, check him out. I'll put the link in the description. Oh, I wanted to did anybody have any questions for him? Sorry about that. Anybody got any questions? Just gonna drop them in the chat. I did see something up here from Maddox, I believe. Uh where was it? I know he said something up here. And shout out to you, Maddox, for coming through, man. I definitely appreciate it. Oh, what suggestions do you have for learning Splunk? Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to ask. I ain't ask it specific like that. What do you have any suggestions other than going to the website and downloading it for free?
well, I always recommend at least the fundamentals one.
Mm-hmm.
Now after that, the stuff gets pricey. Like
Okay.
for example, fundamentals two is like 2,000. But if you're with a company who has either training budget or they're a partner with Splunk, 9 times out of 10 that's probably free.
Mm-hmm.
Check Udemy out. Udemy has some tests. They may also have some PDFs and stuff of that nature for like training material.
Mm-hmm.
Far as Splunk and like I used ine.com. I paid their thing for the year, and then they
Okay.
have like they use Splunk bots at a boss of the sock data set in their thing, and so they kind of show you how to kind of search and Splunk with that. It might be some other Cybrary. So
Cyber,
Cybrary actually
yeah.
does have some Splunk modules in there that you can also learn about Splunk with Cybrary. So check that out. Need to check on. I have an article that's will be coming out with Cybrary, and I don't know where it's at, but
Mm-hmm.
um, Cybrary, and I don't know if IT Pro TV has anything with Splunk.
Okay.
Um, my friend Tayon Tech. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Tayon Tech. Tayon Tech has a Get Me in Tech program, and I believe he showed you how to use Splunk on Get Me in Tech. It's getmeintech.com. If you go there, you can check that out. Matter of fact, I can pull it up while I'm talking. Um, yeah, I found it. I'll throw it
Okay.
in the chat real quick.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Yeah, I see Geechee Dan just said, "What do I suggest somebody do for getting the cybersecurity?" Um, it really depends on like I'm doing a resume now for somebody, and the first things I always ask them is, "What role do you want to do?" And I know you think this is repetitive and simple, but it's just the major key in figuring out how we're going to do what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you can be interested in all these different roles, which is fine, but we got to get a foundation of what we're going to do, how we're going to get there. So start with that first. I actually have, if you go to my links on my blog, I have a blog on that says why you are unsuccessful in getting to cybersecurity. I also did the same video where I went more in depth on my channel. And I go through, I use the cyber pathways tool, like different things somebody may be interested in, and then it'll show you different roles you can do with cyber and IT. And then we start getting into skill sets, resumes, networking, and I think I might have left something out. Oh, certifications and like degrees and stuff like that. We get into that, but that's like it's a high level roadmap, but it'll work. I can't say it's always going to work fast, but like recently I had a client and he went from getting with me, went from IT support, role to getting his first stock analyst role within 2 weeks. Now
Mm-hmm.
that's rare. That doesn't always happen. I'm not
Yep.
going to advocate I can help you in 2 weeks. I had to let people know. Sometimes it's just the luck of the draw when it comes to that. But once he got some guidance on exactly which way to go. It helped him out like tremendously. I didn't even do his resume. I just gave him some comments on the resume he came up with, and he turned it in and sold himself on the interview. And he did a thing also, guys. He did something that I hadn't told a lot of my clients to do. I tell them to use LinkedIn, but he kind of did almost like I wouldn't call it a virtual resume, but he told people on LinkedIn, he made I think it was like maybe 4 to 5 minutes. He made a video basically saying like, how he got into IT and why he's interested in cybersecurity. And I don't know exactly how much that video helped him or not, but
Mm-hmm.
I know I reposted it and people start looking because a lot of times people ask you, oh, what makes you want to do this? Or why did you do this? Or they kind of ask about you. So putting that face with the name and they trying to figure out your character, they can kind of get a lot out of that once they see you on video.
Yeah.
And last but not least, what's also been helping me is brand yourself.
Yeah.
I don't care how big or small, just start branding yourself. It's gonna help you in ways you could not imagine. I've been pretty much networking with all type of different people now and different type of crews, and it's just been amazing.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, man. Bring yourself and go on get your whatever name you got, like textual consulting. Go on get that copyright or
Yeah,
trademarked. I'm sorry. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Somebody else actually has one of those domains, but I don't think it's
Okay,
I got to do a lot of back end trademarking crap. Actually, one
okay,
of the next things I plan to look into.
yeah. Cause I got KeepItTechie trademark, so
Yeah, we
nobody
could
can
talk
kind of
about that, I
steal
guess,
my.
offline, so
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
figure
yeah,
out how
yeah,
to go
yeah.
about that.
Yeah, but hey, shout out to everybody that came through. I'm pushing. I didn't push it to the limit, man. I normally go on
Oh,
and
you
end it
good?
by the hour, man. Just try to, cause it's hard to hold people attention. You know what I'm saying? Too long. But shout out to everybody that came through. I definitely appreciate it. I'm gonna run the outro, but stick around for me, man.
All right.
But keep it techie. Peace.